So today I am heading up north on a Sunday, which I haven't done for quite some time actually. I used to do it all the time. Probably haven't done it for a couple of years because other people like to do it. Get all my stuff out of the car. I'm just going to whip round and do my daily checks and then I can go. Everything should be in order and just as I parked it up on Friday, but you still may not know what little things could happen, like air leaks or lights being out. But luckily none of that is going to be a problem for me today. I'm just filling out my daily checks book and then I can go. I've just got one more thing to do and that is pop a letter up to the office, and it's actually my notice, my 2 weeks notice. This is actually the third time that I have handed my notice in at Wains Transport in the last 7.5 years, but this time I know that this is it. Here it goes. Well, that's that done, and 2 weeks time I won't be coming up here again. I am actually really sad. I don't know how to feel. I'm sad because this place has meant so much to me over the years and I've had a really good time here, but sometimes you've just got to know when that good time's over and you need to move on, and this is the time for me. Anyway, I've got to get on, so better get up the road. Right, that's that done. Luke's in there getting his lorry up together for a truck show next weekend. And I'm off up north. Basically, the aim is to get as far as I can in 4.5 hours. The trip that I'm doing now, you cannot do in a 10-hour drive. And the load that's coming back down needs to be down by Monday. So this is why sometimes we will run on a Sunday evening and just get up as far as we can, and then that kind of guarantees us that we will be back down by Monday with that load. I head down the windy roads towards Clumpton and get onto the M5 heading northbound. To run a full 4.5 hours drive, I am going to have to get some fuel. I know that Sorise Services takes my fuel card, so that's where I pop into. There was an accident up between Weston and Clevedon earlier, and it sounds like it's cleared, but there's still quite heavy traffic. So if I waste a bit of time here getting fuel, which I would have done later on, then hopefully by the time I get there, I'll be straight through. I'm hoping that'll work. These pumps are pretty quick, so I'm not going to actually waste that much time. I've only been here for 8 minutes, but hopefully that will be enough to get the traffic moving a little bit more and keep me going. And I get back out onto the M5 heading northbound, hoping for a good run. I do slow down a bit as I approach Weston-super-Mare, but earlier when I checked the traffic, the road was at a standstill, so actually this isn't too bad. The slow traffic continues all the way through the Gordano Valley and up through Bristol. It seems like this is just a dispersal of traffic after the standstill, so I'm actually not too worried about it. And by the time I get to Gloucester, I'm at full speed. Until, of course, I hit the M42 split. This area is prone to traffic from here right up through Birmingham, so I'm not really surprised, and it just looks like volume of traffic. But what I am surprised about is it actually clears up through Birmingham, which was a nice surprise, and from here on it looks like it's going to be plain sailing. I'm now running low on my 4.5 hours, so I'm just going to nip into the services to go to the loo and grab something to eat just before I park up. I quickly get myself a Burger King and make a move down to the next motorway junction where I know there's some laybys to park in overnight. I would have preferred to get into an industrial estate, but as it's Sunday I don't think these laybys are going to be too bad. The left one has loads of room and the right one has not very much, but there is a space on the end, and as I have a few minutes to spare I'm going to go up to the junction, turn myself around and park in behind the last truck. This is so that I'm facing the right way in the morning, and I'm guessing that everybody else has done the same thing. I'm parked up now. It is 8:30, so I can start at 5:30 tomorrow. Basically that means that I'm having 9 hours off tonight, so I sacrifice one of my 15-hour days for the week, but it just is what it is. I'm facing the right direction, so that's one good thing. I just need to pull out and go in the morning. I would have liked to have been parked up a little bit earlier, maybe sort of like 7:30, 8 o'clock, but it's just one of those things. Because I've made it up this far, I have a really good chance of making it back down tomorrow. there would have to be something that goes really wrong for me not to make it back down. I didn't really need to run that far up, but the further up you get, obviously the more chance you have got of getting back if there is traffic, especially in the summer. But tomorrow, hopefully, because of the time of the year and it's a 6 weeks holiday, hopefully though tomorrow when I leave, because none of the kids are at school, it should be quieter on the roads, should I say, to get up to Manchester tomorrow. So this actually feels quite cold, so I don't know how long it was sat there before I got it, but some sort of Angus burger or something. Looks like it might have been sat there a little while. Never mind. That was probably the driest, most disappointing burger I've had for a very, very long time. But anyway, at least I've got a cup of tea. And whilst I was eating my very disappointing burger, I was looking through social media and seeing everyone's pictures from Asin, which was this weekend, and it looked amazing, and I wasn't there. Instead, I am working. But, you know, sometimes you can't always party, you have to work. I've actually had quite a nice trip up tonight, despite the traffic. Sundays always seem to be quite relaxed. I literally drive for 4.5 hours and that's it. I don't have to get up mega early tomorrow. It's only like 5:30, which normally on a Monday it's like 2-3 in the morning. So actually running on a Sunday isn't too bad. And I get extra night out money as well. And on that nice relaxing note, I am going to chill out and go to bed. Good morning. I have had my 9 hours off and I'm heading up to Manchester, tipping this load at Manchester, and then heading over to Liverpool to load for Colompton. And I've just been out to do my daily checks, although it is quite difficult on such a busy main road like this, and there's not much room between my truck and the actual road, so I've kind of had to do it dodging the traffic. So I'm just filling out my daily checks book and then I can go. And I've already made my cup of tea. Just over an hour to get up to where I need to be, so hopefully it won't take too long. I've just got to try and get up here now, which I think is going to be quite difficult maybe. Oh, no. Trouble is, I'm right on a bend here, so it's very difficult to get out.
I'm only a couple of 100 yards from the junction to the M6, and once again I am still heading north. Part of the reason why I only did 4.5 hours drive the day before is because after 4.5 hours I would have had to have taken a 45-minute break, and doing it this way is much more time efficient. At junction 21A I take the slip road for the M62 towards Manchester. Just before the junction to the M60 I hit some quite heavy traffic. Luckily for me, the traffic seems to be heading straight on rather than onto the M60, which is the road that I need to take. And then I hit another slow bit of traffic heading onto the M66. Finally, I get to the exit of where I'm going and I head into the place where I'm tipping. It looks like somebody has just come out and there's nobody waiting, so hopefully I am next in, which means I shouldn't be in here too long.
The barrier is up. Hopefully he will just let me know when I can go in and tip. He's just pushing some stuff up in the bay next to where I need to tip. Hi, yeah, I've got grit sand.
Yeah. No, then please.
Alright, I do. Thank you.
This is the bay that I need to tip in here, so I need to spin round and back up into the bay. Fortunately, this is probably one of the easier bays to tip in here, and once I've tipped, I'm going to be facing towards the exit. The sheds here have quite low roofs, so I need to be careful not to go back too far. I get out to check that I'm happy where I'm parked, and I undo my tailboard, giving it a little check inside just to make sure the load is safe, and not all on one side of the trailer, which could make me tip over. Everything's fine, so I hop back in the curb and lift the body up, moving forward slowly as the sand comes out. Once I can see that nothing else is coming out of the trailer, I pull forward slightly and put the body down, and pull out of the way so that I can sweep the trailer out. I'm collecting Sawyer next, so I need to make sure that everything is nice and clean. I also need to dust off the bits that are stuck on the back of the trailer, 1 for cleanliness, and 2 it makes it easier to shut the door. And once I'm happy that everything is safe and secure, I can go. That's everything done and packed away now. Body is down, so I just need to work out now which is the best way to go over to Liverpool. I'm collecting from the docks there at Bootle. I might be better off just going back the way I came. That's looking like the best option at the moment. Hopefully the traffic won't get worse. I head back the way I came, down the M66, down the M60, and the section that is normally really busy, heading onto the M62, is slow but not as bad as normal, despite being at the start of rush hour. I stay on the M62 until the M57, which takes me into Liverpool. I'm now at Liverpool. I can't actually film anything in here, I'm just waiting to go in and load. For those of you who have been here, it's where you get the flag and then you write down which side that you took the soya from. So I'm loading Brazilian soya out of here and taking that down to Clumpton. I have to wear trousers in here, so I have put my trousers on. I'm going to take the sheet off and then get loaded. Then we go out into a place where we can put our sheet on. We're not allowed to get out inside of the shed. There's a lot of rules here, and yeah, if you've been here, you will know. But to be honest, this is a place where I used to come a lot when I first started at Wains. We used to do a lot out of here, and we don't come up here so much now. It's a place where it is a bit of a pain sometimes. Sometimes you have to wait a long time, although I've been straight in today. And by the looks of it, I've only got one in front of me. But it's a sort of place that I will actually miss coming in, because I have got to know quite a few of the people who work here over the years. So yeah, that'd be sad, but you know, things move on. Well, I'm all loaded now and on my way out. That actually worked out really perfectly. I've got a trailer on that I'm not used to, and the person who normally pulls it told me what weight to put on, and he was exactly right, and I am at the perfect weight. So heading back down now. Yeah, back down to Clumpton. I'm going to have a break on the way down. I haven't managed to get in a break at all yet. I've got 1 hour 38 and then I need to stop for a break. Oh, it's jumped down to 1 hour 36 straight away. It does do that sometimes. But I'm going to get as far as I can, have a break, straight down to Clumpton, tip. Then I'm taking this trailer back the yard and picking up another trailer, I think. We'll see. The road out of Liverpool has a lot of traffic lights and can sometimes take a while at this time of day, but today it's not been too bad, and it's not long before I'm back on the M57. Once again, I pick up the M62 and head back towards the M6. I head south on the M6 and it's looking surprisingly good. But I'm almost up on my first 4.5 hour drive for today, so I pull it into Sorise Services for a break, and I find myself a nice little parking spot. I am going to have a break now. I can get down to Clumpton from here in one, so I'm going to get my shower stuff together. I know it's only like 11:15, but I'd rather have a shower now than risk not being able to have one later on. I quickly get all my shower stuff together before heading in. Right, I know the shower is normally, I say pretty good. It's normally quite clean-ish, and the water's a bit sporadic, but it's kind of alright. I can cope with this one quite well. It's somewhere that I don't mind stopping. I head into the services and I am greeted with this on the door of the shower. It's locked and it seems to be broken. However, I do have a plan. This services has a bridge over to the other side of the motorway, so I'm going to head over to the other side and check to see if the shower is working over there. Well, the one over the other side is open and hopefully it works. That's good, isn't it? That's better, and I think I will probably go and get a coffee now. I get my coffee and head back to the truck. Well, that's that done. I haven't got very much time left after all that, going to the other side of the motorway. Got myself a coffee, and I also got some coffee grounds, and they do this in
the Starbucks on the motorway services generally. I haven't seen it actually in high street stores, although I don't really go in high street stores because I'm always at work. Coffee grounds are really good for the garden. Obviously it's just waste to them and it just gets chucked away, so they give it out for free. We have a problem at the moment with a cat pooing on our front garden. We've tried all sorts of stuff, or should I say Ryan's tried all sorts of stuff, because he's kind of got obsessed with it. We got these granules that are supposed to stop a cat because of the smell of them or something. He's tried lemons, he's tried rubber snakes, he's bought a sonar thing that only cats are supposed to hear. He's put like thousands of cocktail sticks around the garden to stop the cat, and it just scratches it up and still poos there. So we're running out of options now. Apparently coffee grounds is one of the things. I've heard other things like petrol, J's fluid, stuff like that. We want to grow flowers on the side of the garden, so that's not really appropriate to put in the soil, but I'm hoping this may work. The cat seems to only turn up when we're at work, and we've got a doorbell camera, so Ryan can see the cat actually pooing on the garden, and he's shouting through the doorbell camera at this cat, and the cat doesn't even flinch. So if anyone's got any suggestions of what actually works, then please let us know.
That's my break done, so it's back out onto the M6 and heading back down to Clumpton until I hit some traffic just before Birmingham, which is stop-start all the way down to the M5. There doesn't seem to be any sort of accident, it's just pure volume of traffic on the first week of the summer holidays. This continues all the way down to Bristol, where originally I thought this would clear up, but now I've heard about an accident that's just happened at Weston-super-Mare, so it looks like I'm going to be stuck in this for a while longer. I am currently doing 4 miles per hour. By the sounds of the traffic and travel, I have this down to about Weston-super-Mare. It means that I have 49 minutes driving left, and it will take me a lot longer than that in this traffic to get down to Clumpton, which will mean that I will have to take a 45-minute break before I get down to Clumpton, because I've used a 4.5-hour drive almost already from Kill Services, which is crazy. Like normally you can easily do Kill down to Clumpton with about an hour to spare on a 4.5-hour drive. But even the lady on the traffic and travel, she was like, yeah, well, it's busy on the M5, it's busy on the 303, and that's what it's going to be like for the rest of the next 6 weeks. What you get, sort of Somerset, Devon and Cornwall, literally for the next 6 weeks. Finally, I get to the point where one lane is closed, so I'm hoping I'm near the end of being stuck in this horrendous traffic. Hopefully it's just a little bump and nobody is seriously injured. Starting to think I won't be able to park up before my 4.5-hour drive is over, so I pull into Sedgemoor Services and find a space as quick as I can. Fortunately, there is lots to choose from, which I'm quite surprised about, because normally the services around and after an accident is normally jam-packed. It has taken me 4 hours and 29 minutes from Kill Services to Sedgemoor Services. That is a lot. Today, the traffic is just awful. It's not good. I do have hopefully enough time to get down to Clumpton. I've got just over an hour, but I should have been back there with, 1 or 2 hours to spare to get somewhere else ready for the morning. I don't really want to be sat here for 45 minutes when I could have got on a bit and got tipped, but there you go. Finally, that's my break over, so it's back to Clumpton. I have an hour and 20 minutes left. This is a point where I'm really glad that yesterday I pushed on as far as I could, and hopefully it will mean I can get back down to Clumpton and tip the load that is due in today. Otherwise, it was pointless me leaving on a Sunday. And what a sight for sore eyes it is to see beautifully clear roads. It takes me about an hour to get down to Clumpton, and I pull off of the motorway and into the mill, thanking my lucky stars that I've made it. Finally, I am here, thank goodness. Oh, it seems like it's taken forever to get down here today. Right,
Tickets. I'll write down a new collection reference because it was wrong. 526475. Take this in and hopefully get tipped. Weighbridge operator takes a sample from my trailer by spearing it to make sure that it's the quality that they require. And then I can get onto the weighbridge to get weighed in. Everything's looking good, so he sends me round to tip. I back onto the bay and I get myself set up for tipping. And after all that, the Sawyer is now being awkward and doesn't want to come out. So I do a few things to encourage it to come out, and finally, I get it flowing nicely, hoping that that will continue through the whole tip. It takes around 45 minutes to tip, and once the trailer's empty, I can start packing away. The first thing I do is take the grain sock off, and then undo the tailboard to let the last little bit out, as normally there is around half a tonne stuck up in the corners. I put my grain sock away whilst the dust settles and then go back to check to see the damage. There is still a bit left in there, so I need to get in and sweep out. I'm not sure yet whether I'm swapping trailers or keeping this one, but either way, it needs to be clean. Gets hot in the back of these trailers. Then I can pull forwards and sweep the pit in to make sure it's clean for the next driver, and one of my colleagues, Dean, comes to give me a hand. Right, let's go and get weighed out. One of my other colleagues, Riley, pulls on the pit after me, and there is also another couple of my colleagues over in Devon Grain tipping, so there are a few of us about here tonight. Most of the year we might be on our own or maybe one other person, but during harvest we tend to be around here a bit more. I pull onto the weighbridge and go and get my ticket from the weighbridge operator. I've got my paperwork, so that can go in my drawer for a minute. I don't have a lot of time left. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Drive safely. By the time I head out, Riley is already tipping, and I head out to find a space on the road.
You're out of time as well then. Where you going to be? Since you wouldn't tell me your news, I just found it out from him. No, I found out from Riley. Oh, Riley then.
What, just park up and go now?
Just park up and go now, yeah.
Right, if we're going to go, we're going? Yeah.
Park up.
Okie dokie. Right, put my card on brake and do a little printout. And it looks like I'm going for food with the rest of them. It's very rare that all of us is here, but I think probably because it's harvest has started, we've all ended up in this area. When I started working for Wains, we used to be parked up. A lot of us used to be parked up at the same time, but it's been very rare in recent years, so this is quite good actually. Well, that was a better end to the day than the actual day I've had. What I thought was going to be quite a boring day to film actually turned out quite eventful. Had an easy job to do today, but it was quite monotonous and boring. Just driving basically from one place to another. I've done a 9-hour and 45-minute drive and a 15-hour day. As you noticed, when I pulled up to go down and get some food, they all knew already that I was leaving. My boss would have only have got my notice. I think he rang me about 9-10 o'clock to just have a little chat, which was fine, everything's fine. It doesn't take long for things to get around at Wains Transport. And it's a bit like, you know on Crocodile Dundee, where they say,
"Nah, back there if you've got a problem, you tell Wally." And he tells everyone in town, brings it out in the open, no more problem.
It's a bit like that. But anyway, I've got 9 hours off, I'm up early in the morning, so I'm going to get my head down and get a good night's sleep to have a good day tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and don't forget you can get my merch at f28print.com.